Welcome to Overalls and Alibis, true crime and mysteries with a touch of country charm. Grab a rocking chair and listen closely, 'cause you'll never hear us repeating gossip. So you better listen close the first time. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Whew, I done had my coffee this morning and ready to kind of look back at the case of Emmanuel Haro and see what's going on and what developments have been made. I've been trying to watch everything I could to see. Okay, and if you saw the last video, we went over the timeline, and I'm going to see. I'm not exactly sure when we stopped on that timeline, where, because I can't remember the date. Okay, so we're going to skip over there. I'm going to open up this screen and we're going to check it out. Let's see. Um, and it's not showing. Okay. I keep forgetting you got to hit the add to screen button. Okay. Old lady here trying to figure this out. Okay. Now I'm going to go down. Um, it's so tiny. I'm going to try to see if we can make this big enough so you can see a little bit better. Um, okay. All right. Hopefully you can see some of that. All right. Now, like I said, I'm not sure where we stopped on the other timeline, but going back to say August the 22nd, we see here that the sheriff's department confirmed that it was an active operation. Let me make sure I'm not muted before I start reading. Okay. And they were arrested at their home there in Cal. I know I've heard that pronounced. Why can't I remember? Cabazon? I don't remember. Sorry. My North Carolina accent, it has a hard time with some of these words. Um, okay, and so they were arrested, charged with murder and malice. I'm not sure if they were officially charged at that point, but it's listed here. So, okay, she was booked to Robert Presley Detention Center, and Jake Haro was booked to Roberts Press. Oh, was this the same? Why did they list it twice? Okay. So then the 24th, they closed the road, and oh, that's that one. If you saw the little short I put out, the little clip, they had him out there. So that was East Gilman Springs Road. They had him out in the field, and it was a video showing him with the police at the location, but they didn't give any update on why they were there or what was going on. The update was a search for Emmanuel Haro was conducted along the westbound shoulder of 60 Highway near Gilman Springs Road in Moreno Valley. Investigators were assisted by cadaver dogs. Jake Haro was at the location with detectives. The search is wrapping up, and um, Emmanuel was not located. And there was a lot of even I saw SF had put out that it was found. There was like a lot of miscommunication, and I actually put it out and then came back and did a retraction because he wasn't found. So. Oh, and if anybody's not familiar with this case, this is the case of the baby that was reported kidnapped from a parking lot of a sporting goods store. But nothing added up in this case. So, okay, just for a quick intro, in case there's anybody not familiar with this case. But let's see what else has happened since then. They had their first court appearance at Riverside Hall of Justice, and it was just a short, quick little thing. Let's say the deadline for the district attorney to file official charges. There's like a 48-hour rule. And let's see, requires arrested person be brought before a judge within 48 hours. Jake Haro and Rebecca Haro were charged with murder, domestic violence, and making a serious false complaint in the death of baby Emmanuel. Now the date, and then I also put out, I think I put a reel out on this too, or a short, that officials believe that the death was possibly as much as I think 9 days before the reported alleged kidnapping. So let's see. Um, the range is 5th to the 14th, is what they're figuring. The range suggests that wait a minute. Sorry, I'm losing my voice here. Okay, where'd I get to? Date range. Oh, yeah. The range suggests that the child may have died several days before the reported abduction on August 14th, raising major concerns of a cover up. And I think, yeah, it really looked that way from the very beginning. Charges were filed, booking date, let's see. Okay. Murder, filing false police report. The bail was set at, hmm, okay. Trying to think. That's, I'm surprised they got any bail at all. I'm really surprised they got bail. $1 million each, but still. I okay. I don't know all the details about the rules, but plans to introduce prior domestic violence history during the trial. Who Marcy's law, as Marcy, yeah, issued protecting the victim's family from harassment or release of confidential discovery. Discovery request initiated under, such as details about the charging case. Excuse me. Okay, so the 27th, that was 2 days ago? The latest is cause of death. Authorities state that baby Emmanuel died from ongoing abuse. Okay, I'm confused. They have not found the body, but they can have a cause of death? I'm confused on that. I'm very confused. Authorities state that baby Emmanuel died from ongoing abuse inflicted by his parents and that he likely succumbed to injuries before the false kidnapping report was filed. Okay, evidence points to death occurring between August 5th and 14th. Search. Although Emmanuel's remains have not been located, officials say they have a strong indiction. Indict, indiction? Oh, I'm thinking about them being indicted. That's my brain. Okay, indication of the likely location. Investigation techniques. So it said, well, that's kind of speculation. Jake Harrow recently gave a jailhouse interview denying long-term abuse. But you remember we talked about the abuse and his conviction on the abuse of his infant. I mean, very, very young infant daughter, which caused um, permanent damage. So, yeah. And a lot of people wonder why he was out on probation for that. Okay, and the arraignment is scheduled. Let's see, on the September 4th. So these are future things. And September 9th is the hearing scheduled for a permanent restraining order filed to domestic violence with children from ex-wife. Okay. Okay, so that is the latest on our crime timelines website. So now I want to do a little bit of this press conference. I got to be careful. Do fair use. I need me a fair use disclaimer. Um, yeah, fair use. So we'll see if we can switch over. Share this tab instead. Okay, and I'm going to crop it down, all this other stuff out the way. And this is Court TV. And we, like I said, we're doing fair use here for commentary and research purposes. So let's see. I'm not sure how the sound is going to be, so I hope I don't blast my ears out.
However, having
How's
said
that?
that, it's appropriate to have a press conference because it was the defendants in this case that had a press conference first. And they did so in order to tell the public, the media, and ultimately law enforcement that their child had been kidnapped, when in fact that's not what occurred. And so we're here to clear up some misconceptions and to explain how this case unfolded in terms of the investigation. It involves two counties working very well together. I know everybody up here on this stage.
I'm going to skip a little bit past the thank yous and everything. Let's see.
Understand kind of the course of the investigation. But the investigation started for us on August 14th when Rebecca Haro reported that her son had been kidnapped. Folks, within 24 hours through video surveillance, we found inconsistencies in Rebecca's statement. And as a result of that, there was no other vehicle to put out on an Amber Alert or anything. And I know many of you were wondering why that didn't occur.
Okay, yeah, remember, it was reported that she had gone to this store prior and went in and asked about whether there were cameras in the parking lot, claiming that her car had been broken into, and there wasn't. She parked in an area where the store did not have surveillance, but I think it's a liquor store across the street did have cameras, and they do have video footage. I've seen a clip, not sure where it's at, of her car, and it actually shows, I think, her getting down on the ground, but there's no one else around. There's no other cars around, so it really destroyed that story, I think.
But really, after finding out those inconsistencies in the statement on the initial report, that's where hundreds of hours of investigations have come in by our specialized investigations division to try to get to the bottom of what's really going on here. And when I say hundreds of hours, I'm talking about forensic data on vehicles, phones, and potential crime scenes, judicial authorized search warrants that were served. And through that process, that's where we learned that the jurisdiction of where this has occurred was in Riverside County. So hence the Riverside County DA and Riverside County Sheriff's Department, which I can't stress enough. We've had a long-term partnership. We work well together.
I'm going to see. We're back to the thank yous for working together things. We're going to go past that because I don't want to play too much because I don't want them to strike me for because I'm trying to do fair use here. Uh, let's see what they're saying about
keyboard warriors who quite honestly sometimes hamper and prevent us from a good investigation. I do want to
I'm trying not to
expand a little
hamper
bit
anything.
about
I'm trying to just be helpful.
our
I
relationship
am
with San
trying to be
Bernardino.
helpful.
A lot from the media, a lot of questions have been raised about jurisdiction. And what Sheriff Dykus and I routinely talk about to our own communities isn't really necessarily displayed in the media or said to the media, but neither one of us care about jurisdiction. Our belief is that the Inland Empire is better served when we are cooperating in investigation with both agencies in numerous ways.
Okay, let's get back.
Massive investigation that will obviously be ongoing, and we appreciate your efforts. This involves a lot of things, though, from us, and hopefully there are more questions to be answered, but I'll end it by saying this before we get into more questions specifically about this case. This was preventable in numerous ways.
Yeah.
The amount of response we have had from the public, the enormous anger that a child was not only originally thought to be kidnapped, but then presumably murdered, kind of warms my heart a little bit. That there is compassion still out there. There is care about other people, the investigation, and we will successfully bring it to conclusion with the help of both DA's office.
Obviously, Riverside County prosecutor.
Is it just me, or does these press conferences have so much talk and not much information? I mean, look how far we are into it. We're almost 10 minutes into it, and they still haven't really given any information. Good, I'm not you need to call on everyone. Now they're talking about questions, but questions about, well, you haven't said
Everybody,
anything
when we've gotten through
other than
everyone who has a question,
jurisdiction.
then we can go back and ask more follow-ups, okay? So I'll start here.
Okay, so this is just a question and answer session?
Sheriff, you want to take that?
I'm
I'm not
confused.
going to go into grave detail about that, but there is some level of cooperation with the suspects involved in this, and we're trying to locate that, and our job is to follow
I'm
every lead.
confused.
But for the rest of the room here, we have to understand what you're dealing with is an experienced child abuser that is aware of a previous case, that is aware of evidentiary things that we are certainly
Yeah.
concerned with. So we're going to take every step to not only work with any suspect or witness involved in this, because at the end of the day, we have to bring a
Yeah,
case
he
to
got
Mike
away
and they
with
have
it
to
one
charge it,
time.
and we have to make sure that every single thing, no matter what is told to us or what we discover in terms of evidence, is the right thing, and that we followed up extensively.
Okay.
Who's next? I'll go to you first, and then to you. Go ahead.
TG Garcia, the Fox 11 News. Do you believe you know how baby Emmanuel died or was killed and presenting in care?
Okay, well now okay, this is good. That's a good question. Because remember just a few minutes ago we were talking about how in the world did they have a cause of death. So this is their question. Let's see what they say.
The filing in this case reflects our belief that baby Emmanuel was abused, a victim of childhood abuse
I need my
over time,
chickens.
and that eventually, because of that abuse, he succumbed to those injuries. And that's what we believe. Yes, sir.
We didn't really say how.
I noticed on the arrest records and booking records that they do have Jake Earl as murder with malice and also another murder charge as well. Is there a second murderer? Or can you explain why there's two
We,
on that booking?
we charged both Jake and Rebecca with murder.
Now there is oh crap,
Good
what did
evening.
I do? Oh my god. I missed. Sorry. I gotta go
On
back.
the arrest records.
I hit this button instead of that one. I was trying to pause. And just to let you know that there's a staticky sound, it's their audio, okay? It's not mine. That's their audio. It's like the volume was really low, so I had to turn it up, and it's kind of staticky.
Booking records that they do have Jake Earl as murder with malice and also. From my understanding,
Yes, I will. So in 2018, Jake Haro with his ex-wife, there was another child who they were prosecuted for child abuse as well, child neglect, cruelty. That child was also an infant.
Very
And
young.
that came to the courts, arrested in 2018. It came in to the courts in 2023. We had charged various felony crimes, child abuse, child cruelty. And our indication or what we wanted out of the case was prison. We believed it was a prison case and
You
that
should have
Jake
been.
Haro should have gone to prison.
Yeah.
Jake Haro pled straight up to the court, which sometimes reporters get this wrong, and you call it a plea bargain. Judges are not allowed to plea bargain. Defendants can plea bargain with the prosecutor, but when a defendant pleads up to the court, they plead to everything that they've been charged with, and they're essentially throwing themselves on the mercy of the court.
Oh my gosh,
In
are you
this case,
serious?
a judge here in Riverside County, happened to have been a visiting judge from San Bernardino County, gave Mr. Haro a suspended sentence, which means, if I can translate for you what that is, it means that instead of sending him to prison, he chose to give him probation
Oh my gosh.
and suspend prison time sort of over his head.
Okay.
Meaning that if
That-
he violated his probation, he would then go to prison.
I think
My prosecutor in the courtroom
there's some blood
objected to
on
that.
hands right there.
And it said on the record, we object. We think it's a prison case. You should send him to prison. And the judge decided, as is the judge's right to do in that case, he decided that Mr. Haro deserved an extra break and gave him probation
Oh, my
and basically
Lord.
180 days of work release, which ends up being like community service. I will say
Destroyed that,
it
that
was
little
an
girl's life.
outrageous,
He gets
an outrageous
tremendous-
error in judgment by this judge.
Yeah.
And I don't have any problem saying that. I'm not attacking the judge personally. That decision was absolutely outrageous. Mr. Haro should have been in prison at the time that this crime happened. And
True.
if that judge had done his job as he should have done, Emmanuel would be alive today. And that's
There
a
you
shame,
go.
and it's an
Boom.
outrage.
Right there. Yes. That says it all. If that judge had done his job, Emmanuel would be alive. Well, maybe. I mean, we can't say that for sure, but most likely this would not have happened. Well, first of all, if he'd been in prison, Emmanuel probably would not have been born, right? Because the first abuse case was with his ex. So this case, so then he married Rebecca and had this child. So, yeah.
And I hate to say that, but when our criminal justice system breaks down, I'm going to just call it like it is and tell you it broke down. It's not how it's supposed to work. The judge had obviously meant well. At the end of their sentence, he told Jake, I'm giving you a big break today. Don't mess it up. But I want to point something out to you. I want to read to you the injuries. The child's name is Carolina. She is still alive today, but she is permanently bedridden. She has permanent damage, cerebral palsy, that is a result of long-term child abuse. I want to read to you the injuries that were presented in court to this judge at the time of that previous prosecution. Acute fracture of the posterior left rib, fifth rib, healing fractures of the posterior lateral 6th, 7th, and 10th through 12th ribs, healing fractures of the 6th.
Okay, and now, I don't know for sure, but when they say healing fractures, that means it happened earlier and had already started to heal, correct? So it wasn't new. When they took this baby to the hospital and claimed he dropped her in the sink while bathing her, if the fracture was healing, it didn't happen right then. It wasn't new. Is that right? Is that what he's saying?
And 9th through 12th ribs, partial bone fracture of the skull, brain hemorrhage,
Oh my
significant
God.
prevertebral soft tissue swelling of the neck, and a healing tibia fracture of the right leg.
Oh my
This is
goodness.
severe abuse for an infant. And so whatever you think of the criminal justice system and people need a break, someone who does that to a child belongs in prison, period.
Yeah,
Next question.
definitely.
Not to my knowledge, no. Yes.
Oh my goodness. I need my chickens. I can't find my chickens.
I'm not going to, I can't speculate. I'll
couldn't hear
I'll
that.
repeat what I already said. We believe that Emmanuel was severely abused over a period of time, and that's what will, that's the reason for the filing,
Oh my
the way it
goodness.
was, is that he was abused
Wait
over
a
a period
minute.
of time. Both parents would have been aware of that abuse. I've already called on you, so I'm going to
Yeah, that's
yes,
true.
sir.
There's no way that kind of abuse was happening and she didn't know.
No, one
I'm gonna
question,
try
sir.
to fix
One
my
question.
chickens here. Gotta fix my chickens.
I didn't say that, sir.
And it
I
help
didn't
was
say I know
very
where the remains
useful
are.
if I cover the video for a little bit. Let's see. Um,
Um,
Anybody know how to do this?
Well, you should get some rest, sir. You should get some rest. But no, I can't share with you anything. Look, there are professionals that are looking for the remains of this child.
Okay, I
If the
can't
public
figure out
has
how
any
to do my
information, then we ask for their
chroma
help.
key on that one.
So we
Dang
don't know
it.
exactly
We
where the
had it on
remains
here
are.
last
We have some
time.
ideas in terms of where we're going to look and where we're going to continue to investigate.
Let's see.
Yes, sir, all the way in the back. No,
Okay, that's the main thing I wanted to get out of that was the information about that previous case. And they have some shorts on here that I thought were interesting. Like this one right here. Let's see if this shows.
The punishment should fit the crime. And it is a crying shame that it didn't the first time that Jake Haro harmed one of his children. Perhaps if it had, baby Emmanuel may be alive today. Convicted felon Jake Haro was facing prison time for abusing his 10-week-old baby girl.
I don't know
That
how to.
precious little angel's injuries were so bad, they left her permanently disabled. The baby beater was looking at prison time, but the judge gave him probation.
Have they named that judge? Is it out there? I was just curious whether that's something they did. I'm not saying they should or not, but some judges are appointed and some judges are elected. And if this is an elected judge, you know, I think people will need to know.
And this was over the objection of the district attorney's office. This animal gets to go back home and be around the baby that he harmed. How does that work out? The district attorney went so far as to say that the judge If the judge had done his
It's what we
job
just listened
and
to.
given Jake Harrow a fitting punishment for his crime, baby Emmanuel would be alive today. The district attorney also says that baby Emmanuel was likely a victim of a series of abusive incidents. At the tender age of only 7 months, he likely succumbed to those injuries.
Oh, my
How
goodness.
heartbreaking is that? May precious baby Emmanuel rest in peace with the angels. He was a little angel.
Oh, this is, oh, Lord have mercy. It is so hard to, mm, I gotta figure out how to get rid of the screen share. Okay. That is just so disturbing. I mean, how does that even, how does it happen? And stuff. It's hard to watch a lot of this stuff. It really is. Whew. So that is, I think that's kind of where we're at right now. I haven't seen any other updates on the case. Um, Now I've seen, some saying that baby Emmanuel did not have a birth certificate. I find that hard to believe. I mean, how does that happen in modern day? I don't know. So, but this is just some of the things that people are saying, but who knows? We're not going to repeat gossip, right? We're not going to repeat gossip. So you just have to go do your own research. Everything I say is opinion and speculation. Don't take it as fact. Do your own research. So, so okay. Now, guys, whew, that is heavy. That is really heavy. But I just wanted to come. I was gonna check all these things and update for myself. So I thought, well, I'll just uh, go ahead and film this and let y'all come along with me while I check out what's going on and see if we can figure out any new updates. Oh, I did want before I go. I did want to see because I really like Michelle After Dark. Usually has some good. She stays on top of stuff really good. So I wanted to see if I can find her channel to see if she had anything new on it. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna have to do my share screen again if I can figure out how to turn that back on. Um. Okay. So how do you get it to start up again? Oh, crap. I think I'm gonna have to redo it every time. Okay. We will redo it every time. And I have to do add to screen and crop all the crap out. And this is Michelle After Dark's channel, which I think she's a great resource. So let's see what she's done. 2 hours ago, she's covering Jack and Lily again. I'm gonna have to go watch that. And yeah, she talks about the we just watched. Oh, he did? Let's see. She says that Jake Haro has responded. So, that's interesting. I'll have to check that out. I don't, but yeah, I'm gonna jump off here, and yeah, she's got some new stuff on there. This was yesterday that she put this on there, so I'm gonna listen later today. So hope you will too. And let's see if I can. Oops, what did I do? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Don't know what I'm doing half the time. Okay, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm gonna pop off here and try to get some stuff done. See you guys.